and welcome to a new milestone in the history of CTE, the final introduction of the Traccess 270, the highest spider lift that CTE is manufacturing up to date. The 270 is a development of the well-known and well-reliable Traccess 230 with a lot of new and amazing features that I will show you later in the video. But now I want to show you immediately how it is to work with this amazing machine. So I will start with stabilizing the unit, then self-stabilization of the unit with the wireless remote control that I will show you later in details, and then up with this wonderful day to see how we can do tree care and maintenance with this wonderful machine. So thank you for choosing CTE. Welcome to World Become Easy. The Traccess 270 has the possibility of setting the outriggers in two different positions, and the S3 evolution, so the smart stability system, is capable of handling every single stabilizer in a different condition. So I will start opening the leg, positioning the leg at the maximum opening, and I will do the same with the other three. When we are done with positioning the outriggers, we can start the automatic stabilization of the unit. So I will start the engine, a wonderful Kubota D902, so a 900 three-cylinder engine, very quiet and with a lot of speed for our work. I grab the remote control, I start the engine, and I can lower the legs first manually. Now that we're done stabilizing, we can move to the basket. This unit in particular is featured with all the latest and greatest accessories, like for example the double console. So you have a wireless remote control, as I showed you before during the stabilization, and a wire remote control here in the basket with a diagnostic display. So all the same maneuver, all the same features are available either from the basket. So traction, automatic stabilization is available from the basket. Of course, the platform can track also, can move also with the jib open to move through fences, for example. And at the same time, you can an operator moving the platform from the ground with a wireless remote control or from the basket. So I'll move to the basket now with an easy access with an access ladder to make the access even easier, and of course then a rope to close the ladder when you're up in the air. Sliding gate, so I'll go through it. This particular unit is also equipped with a secondary guarding, so an anti-trapment device that in case the operator gets stuck through something, detach the wire and stops the machine. So I will now close the step. Here we are. And we're good to go. A very important feature that we added to our remote control is a graphic display that it's available either at the basket console, either at the wireless control, where we can see essentially which maneuvers are allowed and which maneuvers are not allowed. In the case of stabilization, for example, we see that the 4 pedals are blue and the 2 extended pedals are not blue yet. That means that we can operate the outriggers, and once the outriggers are in the proper position, also the traction will be available. Of course, the display can select also when we are stabilize the aerial maneuvers, and I'll show you later when the machine is stabilized again. Well, every single maneuver is checked and monitored through the entire working operations and show which maneuver, so which direction the joystick can be used, and so which maneuver can be used and which maneuvers cannot be used depending on anti-collision or in case of reaching the maximum performance. Of course, here we see also the traction, in which direction we can go, and also the angle in this case of the unit respect to the ground. The on function, start and stop, rabbit and turtle for the different traction speed, the selector for the aerials maneuvers or for traction, automatic stabilization, possibility of putting the basket off level up to plus or minus 5 degrees, selector to change the width of the tracks, and the self-centering of the basket. So when the basket is not center, we can simply apply the rotation of the basket plus this switch, and the basket will stop automatically when it passes to the zero, so when it's perfectly center. First, emergency stop, and the possibility of starting and stop. Also, the basket console. The basket console is exactly the same as the wireless control, so essentially using from the basket or using from the ground is exactly the same. The only difference is that the one in the turntable, of course, it's wireless or can be wired. The remote in the basket can also be removed and detached from the cable in case you want to leave the unit outside and you want to be sure that nothing is going to be stolen. So now, harness, safety first, and let's start rolling. So we will now open the jib, and then we can do almost all the maneuver at the same time and fully proportional. So jib, and then when the display tells me that I can do all the other maneuvers, I can simply start to operate. So boom up and boom and rotation. And here we can do the automatic returning home. So we close automatically the main boom, the telescope. Then of course we also have always check the surrounding, because the machine of course is not aware of his surroundings. So here we are now boom down. And then the machine will automatically center with the turntable, and of course we always have to check the surrounding. We are very close to a tree here, but the machine is pretty compact though and has a lot of outreach, so we can work even quite far away from what we want to work and stay always on the safe side. So this machine is really amazing, very smooth, very fast, perfect for tree care, landscape operation, so polishing surfaces, windows, and everything where reaching off-road is a requirement. So here we are still really just checking the surrounding, not really caring much about the machine, because the machine of course checks itself and make sure that there's no collision and everything goes through a sequence of maneuvers that will bring us home. As I was explaining before, from the basket, the Traccess 270 comes as a standard with a wireless remote control that can be used from the ground or from the basket, and as an accessory with a double console, so the wireless remote from the ground and a remote wireless console from the basket. From this remote control, we have a display that provides all the information and also some menus for diagnostic purposes. As I said, opening, closing of the track, self-centering of the basket, automatic stabilization, possibility of sending the basket off level, plus or minus 5 degrees, the selector for the aerial maneuver or traction, emergency stop, home function or go to work, start and stop of the engine, and rabbit or turtle, and of course all the maneuvers. Once the remote is back in his position, we can decide if we want to operate from the ground or from the basket. Of course, this unit has a lot of amazing features that now I'm gonna try to explain to you. First of all, the units can operate with every single outriggers in a different configuration. So I can have this outrigger fully extended, or I can have this outrigger, for example, position in the middle position, like this. And at this point, the S3 Smart Stability System will take just these outriggers into consideration to change a little bit the working envelope just on this specific area. I must say though that the unit has an amazing 14 meters outreach with 250 kilograms, and even with the leg partially closed, we still have almost 40 meters with 230 kilograms. So really an amazing achievement from a stability point of view, thanks to the Evolution Smart Stability System. Another amazing feature of this unit is that we added 3 different power modes in the same unit. So we have the diesel engine, then we have LED batteries that provide energy for about 1 hour of operation, that provide power to an AC 24 volt motor. And once the battery runs out, or even before they runs out, you can still plug your unit into the wall with the 220 or 110 volt multi-voltage inverter. So we have 3 power possibility: the diesel engine, the battery, and the plug. So a real full hybrid solution to operate inside and outside. We can go and move. Another new feature that we added, of course, is a detachable basket that was already available on the Traccess 230, where we can remove the basket and place a winch if you want. But now the operation can be run out just with one person. So there is a quick release mechanism underneath here, and then a single man can simply pull off the basket and put it on the ground where we have wheels. So the basket can be then pushed away by a single man and the winch can be installed. As I was explaining before, of course the system can be plugged with the 220 or 110 volt multi-voltage, so the inverter can be used indifferently, of course changing just the plug all over the world. As I was explaining before, then we have the Kubota 3-cylinder engine, 900 cc, that provides a lot of power, and we also manage electronically the pumps. So we have 2 pumps that manage the 2 different trucks, but the 2 pumps can be merged or work as a one when we need more oil for the upper structure. So really we try to manage not only the power, but also the use of oil. For example, the battery, on battery power, we use a smart inverter that provides only the power that is required. It can be set and it's tuned to use only the power that is required for that specific maneuver, but not only that, it can be set also to use the maximum power available from a specific plug into a specific country. For example, in the US, 110 volt, 15 amps, in Europe, 220 volts, 16 amps. And we can set the inverter to use only the maximum power available from that specific plug. So that's very important and makes the unit flexible and available almost worldwide. Hope you really enjoy this new CTE product. I'm gonna drive away now with the jib open because this is another amazing possibility, as I said, to drive also with the jib open to go through fences or to increase your angle of attack. So Cte Traccess 270 is just arrived, but it's the first in performances. Have a good day.